Hello everyone, wherever you are around the world, it's the Duchess of Monty Shit Show. It's 7:30 a.m. here in Sussex, England on Bank Holiday Monday, the 19th of September, the saddest of days. It's Queen Elizabeth II's state funeral. I've been up since 5:30 a.m. this morning watching TV coverage, and already I can feel it, as I know a lot of you can. But please try to hold it in, guys, because we've got a very long and very sad day ahead of us. Now, for those of you that have managed to go to London this week to visit the Queen lying in state, to lay flowers, or just to generally pay your respects, thank you very much. I desperately wanted to go, but it just wasn't possible with children that needed to go to school and college. I couldn't fit in a day trip to London as well. However, I did pay my respects in my own small little way by visiting my local church, signing a book of condolence, lighting a candle, laying some flowers and saying some prayers. Now, for those of you outside of the UK, you will be able to watch events as they happen. If you go to YouTube, there will be multiple live stream channels going on, and there will be extensive TV coverage as well. It's estimated that this funeral will be the most televised event in history, so you will have access to it wherever you look, don't worry. Now, so just a quick rundown for those that don't wish to watch the funeral. This is what's going to happen today. So, this is the first state funeral since Winston Churchill's funeral back in 1965. And this morning at 6:30, the Queen's 4-day period of lying in state at Westminster Hall officially came to an end. The doors closed. And it's estimated that 300,000 people queued up to sometimes 14 hours each to pay their respects. At 8 o'clock this morning, so in 15 minutes' time, Westminster Abbey will open for the congregation that will be attending the Queen's funeral. The funeral will be one of the largest gatherings of heads of state and royalty, including European royal families, world leaders. We've obviously seen the Prime Minister of New Zealand, the President of France. We've seen many, Joe Biden is here. We've seen many leaders that are already in London that have had an audience with King Charles. And I believe yesterday the First Lady of Ukraine had an audience with the new Princess of Wales. So at 10:30 a.m, the Queen's coffin will be carried by gun carriage from Westminster Hall to Westminster Abbey, which is only a short journey. It will be towed by 142 sailors from the Royal Navy, and this tradition dates back to the funeral of Queen Victoria back in 1901. So at 10:44 a.m, King Charles III, joined by other royal family members and other members of the royal household, will follow the coffin as it makes its way from Westminster Hall to the Abbey. Now, just on a side note, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers here, but it has been announced in the last few hours that Prince George and Princess Charlotte will also be joining the funeral procession. They will be walking behind their parents, the Prince and Princess of Wales. But I don't wish to ruffle feathers, but what I think is really delicious on this day is that Rachel Ragland will be walking behind Princess Charlotte, the child she bullied. So I just find that a very delicious irony. She's going to properly know her place today, I think. So at 11 o'clock, the funeral service will begin. And at 11:55 a.m, there will be 2 minutes of national silence to remember the Queen. At 12:15 p.m. this afternoon, the Queen's coffin will be transported 1.5 miles from Westminster Abbey over to Wellington Arch. And at 1 o'clock, the coffin will be transferred from the gun carriage to hearse before making its final journey to Windsor Castle. The funeral cortege will be avoiding the main motorways and will travel along the smaller A roads. The hearse is expected to arrive at Windsor Castle just after 3 p.m. this afternoon and will travel in procession to St George's Chapel via the Long Walk. At 4 o'clock, a committal service will be conducted by the Dean of Windsor, and this will be attended by around 800 people. And finally, at 7:30 p.m. this evening, the Queen will finally be laid to rest in a private ceremony, attended by her family in the King George VI Memorial Chapel. She will then be buried and reunited with her husband, the late Duke of Edinburgh. So that's just a brief rundown of what's going to happen today. It is possible to download the order of service for the funeral if you just type into Google Queen's Funeral Order of Service. There will be multiple sites that will bring that up for you to view and download if you wish to follow along with the funeral service. So before I go, I'd just like to share with you something that my beautiful son Clark said to me yesterday, which gave me some comfort at this time, and I hope it will for you all too, today and in the days ahead. Now, as you know, Clark is neurodiverse and has mild learning disabilities, and he very often sees the world from a different perspective, which is not a bad thing. It's fascinating to have discussions with him, because sometimes he makes me see situations from perspectives that maybe I haven't thought of before. So yesterday I was explaining to him about what was going to happen today and talking with him about things that have happened so far over the last 10 days. When I touched upon the subject of some of the American media and how they're angry at the Queen and the British nation and King Charles in regards to how much today's state funeral will be costing. I've seen reports that it's estimated to cost upwards of several £1,000,000 of our taxpayers' money. I'm completely okay with this because after all we did spend 32 million on a shit show of a royal wedding in 2018. So if a state funeral costs 10 million, that's absolutely fine with me. And I was explaining to Clark how, yes, it costs a lot, but the amount of money that will be coming back into the UK far outweighs that. When you think about the amount of people that are flying in and out of the UK, coming into London, travelling around London, so you have buses, taxis, trains, underground trains, people staying overnight and for a while, so you have hotels are full, B&Bs are full, Airbnbs are full. You also have people that are eating and drinking, so supermarkets, bars, pubs, restaurants, coffee shops. People are buying souvenirs in tourist shops, t-shirts, fridge magnets, key rings. When you add it up, it comes to potentially billions of pounds coming back into the economy here in Britain. And Clark said to me, he thought for a while, and he said to me, "Do you think, Mummy, that this is the Queen's final gift to us all, is to die at this time because she knows the UK is going through a cost of living crisis at the moment? Our fuel bills are going up, our utility bills are going up, our food is increasing all the time." And he just said, "Do you think that was the Queen's final gift, was to deliberately die at this time so that she could bring all this money back in to help the British people?" And my heart just melted. I'm tearing up just thinking about it now, bless his heart. But that's life according to a neurodiverse 11-year-old. It certainly makes you think, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm going to go back in. I want to finish watching some of the coverage before the funeral starts. So I wish you peace and comfort today. If you need me, I will be around. DuchhouseofMontyShitshow@gmail.com, and I hope to catch up with you all soon. Take care. Bye bye for now.